I'm scrolling Reddit and I come across this title and it literally makes me laugh out loud. Not because it's funny, it's just because it's absurd. This 40-year-old man has a 38-year-old wife, and he says, I want to leave my wife of 20 years and our teenage kids to go shag 20-year-olds. How the hell do I get healthy enough to stay in my marriage? The fact that he used the word shag is hysterical. Like, is this the 70s? And the delusion of thinking you as a 40-year-old man is just going to leave your marriage and walk out and there just be a sea of 20-year-olds just attracted to you, just waiting to pop it open for you. These people and their delusions and the fact that they overestimate themselves so much is hysterical to me. This is the type of man that I want to go try it. Go try it just to get shot down repeatedly so he can come back down to reality. Because, sir, nobody wants you at 40. No 20-year-old wants a 40. Like, why are these people like this? I'm literally crying. All right, let's get into the post. Now, this man did post this in the Ask Men Advice, the Relationship Advice subreddit, and the True Off My Chest. He really needed people to see that he wants to leave his wife. He is wild for that. He says, as the title states, I won't do it, I don't think, but I want to. I finally get it. All that talk about midlife crises, half of our friends have left their wives, had their husbands leave them too. I want to do it too. There's nothing wrong with my wife. Sure, everyone has complaints. She has like 26 allergies and sensitivities and counting. She nags all the time. She's not as smart as me. She's still stuck in the same dumb religion we grew up in. But she's overall a good person. She does a lot around the house. She makes sure our kids get to activities. She bitches about it all constantly. No amount of money is good enough. Nothing is ever fulfilling enough for her, but whatever. I liked having sex with her when we first got married. Granted, we both grew up ultra religious and I wasn't allowed to so much to look at a naked girl before getting married, much less have sex. So maybe any sex would have felt amazing. But after 20 years, Jesus Christ, I don't know how anyone could still enjoy having sex with the same person. Sure, she seems to though. She tells me all the time how attractive I am, wants to have sex all the time, so much that it's pretty annoying. But she won't change anything about sex, won't dress up, won't try new positions, no role play. F me. I've tried to gently bring up those things, which is hard given our repressed background. Those things just don't sound fun to her. That's fine, but it's boring AF. Everyone tells you to gain more insight, work hard, be responsible. These things will pay off. But I guess I just got a good job now. But F me, life never got easy. My whole paycheck disappears when you have to split it 6 ways between kids and your wife. Housing prices and interest rates skyrocketed as we started to get enough money to buy a house. I still hem and haw about spending $5 on myself here and there. I feel like I did all the right things. I went to school for decades. I've studied philosophy, physics, advanced math, medicine, you name it. I think I understand most of the mysteries of the universe, at least as far as human knowledge goes. And all I really want to do is F. I want to leave it all. I want to effing just leave. Buy a sports car, go clubbing, meet some skanky 20-year-olds, and F before I'm too old to pull someone like that. Even with my money, which maybe I am already. I feel like I wasted my whole life being responsible and helping out other people. I can only say this online because the second you say anything like this in real life, people tell you how selfish you are, how much you'll hurt the people you love, how you're a terrible person for even thinking it. I imagine it probably will be the same here. I mean, that's why I won't actually do it. That, and I'm too much of a chicken. But what am I supposed to do? Hide how I feel for the last 30 years or so until I die? Just be effing miserable and work hard so my stupid family can grow up to be just as responsible and selfless and never enjoy their lives? I mean, that's what I've done so far. And past behavior is pretty predictive of future behavior. So there you go. F me. I want to remind us all that religious people push young folks to get married. They push this purity culture to where these folks don't get to go out and have sex and date and all of that. They push these people to get married young. This man got married at 20. She got married at 18 years old. She probably has no idea how resentful he is of her. And that is completely unfair. All of these things that she's doing, the things that she's probably nagging about, are probably things that require him to participate in the home. But why would he participate in the home and he can't stand his wife and think that his family is stupid? He is literally like brewing with bitterness and resentfulness, and nobody who even knows. And it's like some of it is because he didn't get a chance to go out and do these things. But like he said, he is a chicken. He's not addressing these things. He's keeping it built up inside, and he is going to eventually blow. Probably. He's going to blow up his family and his relationship. And since he's not like speaking to his wife, he's putting it on Reddit 3 different times. Like literally, she's going to be blindsided. But the thing is, she has been dedicating her last 20 years to this marriage, to this family, because that's what her religion programmed her to do. And I don't think that it's fair to keep her in this relationship where he's completely unfulfilled and can't stand her either. But if he does blow it up, all of the things that she thought that she was doing right, she will see that she has done it for absolutely no reason. So he says right here, half of our friends have left their wives, had their husbands leave them. Pushing people to get married so young, these religions do such a disservice to humans. It's so ridiculous because people really shouldn't be getting married that young before they had a chance to do anything, explore anything. And then like we're seeing that these people that get married so young are like half of them are bouncing because I don't know why it is not fulfilling. They want to do something else. They were completely different people at 18 or 20 years old. And they finally got out of the religious programming. He got out of the religious programming. She did not. So there is that difference. If you were to allow yourself to, move around, go to college, find new people to talk to, then maybe you wouldn't be so resentful. But this is what religious indoctrination and programming does to people. This sucks all around, but it is going to be hysterical when he does finally leave his wife to go out and find all of these 20-year-olds to shag, to see that no 20-something is checking for a divorced 40-year-old man with teenage kids. They will laugh at him and he will deserve it. All right, so Slow Stroke says, shoo, the post nut on this one is going to hit hard. Miss Catatonic Academia says, open the stick with your wife fortune cookie barrel. Ophelia 1 says, dude should just wank one out and go to therapy. Sunrise Moonrise says, thank you, sir. This made me laugh out loud. For real. This whole post kind of made me laugh out loud. Odorless Photograph says, peak post nut clarity. Bergerman says, I was going to recommend he have a wank. They're all just recommending he just knock one out because they know dating sucks right now. But then we got this woman, ex Golden Don X, saying, man, if he even gets that far, dating right now is insane. I'm glad I'm not a man because what do you mean you go days without matches? I'm so sorry. The only way he's going to get poo-tang that fast, especially from some hot 20-year-old, is by paying for it. If that's cool with him, then go for it. Also, he's heading for divorce anyways. Wait until his wife realizes she's basically a single mom in this relationship. Women initiate divorce more because of years and years of nagging about weaponized incompetence and the mental load. What's the phrase I hear so often from men? She left me out of nowhere. You hear her, but you're not listening. Honestly, I say, do set her free. I say, do it, set her free. I agree. He needs to set her free. He can't stand her anyway. Why should she be in this relationship? He needs to go out, do what he needs to do, because who is this? This is not productive for anybody. This is not healthy for anybody involved. All right, y'all join the conversation. Let me know what you think. Did you chuckle like I did? Don't forget to like, comment, and share. Some people that stay together for the children, or who think that staying married, even though, life is dysfunctional, there's abuse, there's hollering, they really think that having a two-parent home is better than having a divorced couple that co-parents in a healthy manner. These people are creating chaos and dysfunction for their children, and that could breed resentment and bitterness and breed all kind of negativity in those children. Who really wants to grow up in a house full of dysfunction with parents that hate each other for the simple fact of saying, well, at least my parents didn't get divorced? I still don't understand why this rhetoric is still so prevalent. Anyways, this Am I the A-hole post comes from the perspective of an 18-year-old girl. She says, am I the a-hole for running away from my family home because I couldn't stand being with them anymore? She's 18, like I said. She says, I left my parents' house a few weeks ago. It wasn't a dramatic scene. I just quietly packed some things and went to my grandma's house. Growing up, I was the quiet kid, unlike my sister who was more confrontational and always butted heads with my parents. I learned early that staying small and quiet was the safest option. My house was always loud. I'm extremely sensitive to noise. I'm diagnosed neurodivergent. My parents fought constantly. It became background noise, just another Tuesday. I spent my whole childhood tiptoeing around their moods because they could explode over anything. I love them. They love me. I had food, clothes, and education, and I'm grateful for that. But that's not the issue. And that's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to feed you and clothe you and educate you. That is baseline. I'm sorry. All right. She says, the real issue is that I became their emotional sponge. Their happiness depended on me pretending to be cheerful. If I showed sadness or exhaustion, it turned into, are we horrible parents? You're so dramatic. We give you everything. You're making me feel bad. Oh, goodness gracious. The whole we give you everything. No, you're giving them what you're supposed to because you're the parent. What is wrong with people? All right, she says, it took me years to realize this was emotional incest, not physical, but the way they made me their therapist instead of their child. As I got older, it got worse. I ended up dropping out of high school because of mental health struggles. After 2 years of drama, just to be allowed to quit. Fast forward to now, my mom is emotionally wrecked by my dad's constant verbal abuse. My dad is angry 24/7. The house feels heavy and tense. I live in constant fight or flight mode and take meds for depression, anxiety, and chronic pain. And some of this chronic pain could be due to the fight or fight. That is hormonal. That jacks up your cortisol level. That could be the source of her chronic pain right there because of her parents. Living in dysfunction like that is not good for your actual physical health. They're just inflicting all kind of health issues, not just mental health issues on their child, but physical health issues on their child. I have been thinking about leaving, but I'm totally dependent on them financially and emotionally, so it felt impossible. After a breakdown, my sister suggested I stay at grandma's for a few days. I did, and I went back for a bit, but after more drama, long story, I packed again and left without warning. Grandma welcomed me. I didn't cut them off. I tried explaining why I left. Long text essays about how screaming matches at 9 a.m. in your child's room aren't normal. They responded with crying audios, guilt trips, and gaslighting. I visited a few times, brought them Easter gifts, hugged them, but I never agreed to move back. Then yesterday happened. They sent more guilt-tripping messages, and something in me just snapped. I replied, understood. You can cancel my adult education program. I'm refunding the money for my room stuff. I'm not coming back. Just cut anything ongoing that they held over my head. They immediately panicked, bombarded me and Grandma with messages, even showed up trying to negotiate. I was too tired to fight. I just sat there with a dead stare while they love bombed and guilt tripped. No real apology, no accountability, just you broke our hearts and come back is so empty without you. In the end, I was so tired and said tomorrow because they weren't leaving otherwise. Now I'm here replaying everything, doubting myself. Am I being dramatic, ungrateful, blowing it out of proportion? Am I the a-hole? She's absolutely not the a-hole. She has been the shock absorber that has been there to be like the buffer between her parents. And they can't stand being alone with each other. Her parents can't stand being alone with each other. So they need this shock absorber to come back and take on the brunt of their dysfunction. And she just doesn't want to do it anymore. She's worn down mentally and physically. And this is completely unfair. And this is and I've already said it, this is why I believe that people need to do what's best for their relationships and for their children. Staying in dysfunction is not a healthy dynamic, even for optics sake. Saying that you're divorced, but you're co-parenting is so much better than this. This 18-year-old sounds like she has more maturity than both of her adult parents combined. Some of the comments. Fawn's Fable says, it's really brave of you to take control of your well-being, especially in such a difficult environment. You've been through a lot, and it sounds like you've made a choice that was best for your mental health. You're not being dramatic. You're taking care of yourself, which is incredibly important. And to that, the OP says, thank you. I'm trying to prioritize myself, trying to heal without them. Fun Independent says, not the a-hole. Your peace and sanity comes first. Not only that, you're a legal adult. They cannot force you to come home. And honestly, if they can't accept and respect your decision to move out, then it may be time to cut ties. And to that, the OP says, thank you. Honestly, I never saw myself cutting ties with my parents. It seems like I'm sometimes part of them, but I will try to find my independence and prioritize myself. I keep saying this, but I'm so glad that social media has these types of communities that run and speak to folks because, y'all, and this is why I try to have these conversations in the public square, that not everybody has the same upbringing. So when people say, something is common sense, or you didn't know, or you couldn't be me, you never know why somebody ends up like they end up, because you don't know their upbringing and what they saw as normal in a relationship, or their baseline, or their childhood upbringing. Like this woman, she doesn't know how to be independent. She doesn't know how to prioritize herself. She's always been small. She probably doesn't have very high self-esteem. Some of these things, if you have self-esteem and self-confidence, some of that comes from how your parents raised you. But what if you have just the opposite? It takes something in you to be able to build it up if the people that were supposed to help you build it up as a child didn't come through for you. That's the reason why we have to continue to have these conversations, so that you can know and understand that you can listen to somebody and have some grace and empathy for how they are now based on their childhood story, like this 18-year-old. Savings Rhubarb says, don't go back. Go ahead and leave the program they were paying for and do other things you mentioned to cut financial ties with them. Get a job, since you can't afford to continue your adult education class without their support. They may well be shocked and hurt at your sudden departure, but notice that they haven't accepted it or your reasons for leaving at all. If you go back now, you will have to go through all that turmoil again when next you decide to leave. Sometimes you can't have the nice farewell scene when you move out, and you can't negotiate if they have nothing to offer for your return aside from the guarantee of more loud scenes all the time, plus insults instead of serious offers. Not the a-hole. So you all go ahead, join the conversation. Let me know what you think about this one. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. I was sent this post to my Instagram inbox. Please know and understand that it does have some gore, some violence in it. And depending on who you are and what kind of members you have down there, this could be triggering. All right, so it's titled Bertha Boronda's Mugshot. She sliced off her husband's private with a straight razor in 1907. Look at this woman. She looks completely unbothered. She looks like she is taking a picture just for a family photo. She does not have a care in the world. Because of that, that made me want to go look this woman up. Before I flesh out the story, no pun intended, let's look at some of these comments. The Mighty V says, what did he do to provoke her? What was he wearing? Why didn't he fight back harder? He should have picked better. Rasta Pasta says, wrong. She attacked him based on suspicion of him being with a prostitute, although she never did get conclusive evidence that he did. So, therefore, she's crazy. This person says, nice. Stephanie says, maybe he should have treated her better. Kate said, to be fair, he probably abused her. Miss Cara says, her expression says, and I would do it again. And it absolutely looked like she was saying that. But Sarah, she got me with this one. She says, God forbid women have hobbies. That one got me. Her hobbies are slicing up things. Yes, that one got me. That one was funny. Hashtag TLJ says, good for her. According to the story, and I'm about to get into it, she was charged with mayhem. That's the reason why Springer Peg says, kind of sad nobody seems to get charged with mayhem anymore. Adolf Rizzler says, why everyone assuming she was probably abused? Can't women be of bad character and do evil things? I'm totally sure that she had a reason. Purple Juice says, smug shot. And then Bambi said, she walked so Lorena Bobbitt could run. I put her name into the Google machine and this article popped up. It says the original Lorena Bobbitt, San Jose housewife, chopped off her husband's penis in 1907 with a razor because she was sick of him cheating and then fled the cops by dressing up as a man. All right, so here are the basic talking points. Bertha Boronda cut off her husband Frank's penis with his flat razor in 1907. He was chronically unfaithful, and she discovered a trove of letters from other women. Well, I bet you he won't be cheating no more. All right, it says Bertha then fled their San Jose home in a man's suit to try to evade police. She was charged hours later and was charged with mayhem. I wonder why mayhem is in quotes if that's what she was charged with. Bertha was sentenced to 5 years in San Quentin prison, then was freed. She remarried without incident and then died without ever having children. So those are the basic talking points of this article. And then it starts to talk about Lorena Bobbitt in connection with this woman's name. It says, long before Lorena Bobbitt made global headlines by infamously castrating her husband, a San Jose housewife did the same thing to her cheating spouse. For years, Lorena's name has been synonymous with the theme. She attacked her husband John in 1993 while he slept after apparently snapping in a rage following years of rape and domestic abuse. 86 years earlier, 31-year-old Bertha Boronda attacked her husband in a similar way, albeit with less sophisticated technology. She took her husband Frank's straight razor to his penis after he returned home demanding sex, having abandoned her for weeks on end with other women. I'm just trying to visualize how you have a razor in your hand and he's right there. You would have to get very close. I'm wondering why he didn't run, why he didn't struggle. Why he didn't fight harder. How much of this was his fault? He needs to take accountability for some of this. Bertha then fled their home wearing a suit that belonged to her brother. She managed to evade the police for a few hours, then was taken into custody. Her story is being retold now in commemoration of the 70th anniversary of her death. According to San Francisco Gate, Bertha had no memory of the maiming when she was interviewed by the police. See, she blanked out. I'm totally sure that she was innocent by reason of mental incapacitation. I'm sure mental insanity. I'm totally sure that's it. She says she blacked out after asking Frank whether or not he still loved her. His response was to ask her for sex. Bertha was his second wife. He had been embroiled in another scandal with his first spouse when she tried to off herself by drinking chloroform. That woman, when asked why she wanted to self-delete, said it was because of her husband's abuse. He has also been accused of voter fraud. Others who were interviewed as part of the police investigation said they heard Bertha threaten her husband in the past. All right, so then here is the clipping from the 1908 trial. All right, it says she told him at least once before that if he cheated on her again, she would blow his head off. So she gave a fair warning and he came back.
Some of this is on him. Some of this is on him. Her trial began in 1908 and was a scandal. She was charged with mayhem, which was defined at the time by state law as any person who unlawfully and maliciously deprives a human being of a member of his body and renders it useless, or cuts or disables the tongue, or puts out an eye, or slits the tongue, nose, ear, or lip. None of that is a member, but okay. But it is a member of his body. So, okay, this could be mayhem. So once again, she was sentenced to 5 years, and she was 31 when she chopped it off. I guess she was 32 when she was sentenced. So by the time she got out, she was 37. She was still young enough to go off and find another man who probably treated her better. But then let's talk about Lorena Bobbitt. I'm sure if you are old enough, you remember what happened with this woman. You know, we kind of joke about this woman chopping it off, but she had a reason. This is before it was really talked about that spouses can, in fact, grape their wives. Men can grape their wives. Just because you are a wife doesn't mean that you can't say no. And this brought that into the public discourse, at least somewhat. It was kind of overshadowed by what happened and how it ended, but marital grape has been a thing, and it needs to be put out there that this is the reason why she snapped. And had he not been out here graping his wife and abusing his wife, maybe he would have still had his member attached. And this is the dude that had his member detached. All right, it says Lorena Bobbitt, on the other hand, says she has had to live with the public fascination of her crime every day. She has repeatedly bemoaned the fact that she is blamed for castrating him, but not that he is blamed for the years of alleged grape and domestic abuse, which she says drove her to attack him. So it's like they talk about the aftermath, but they don't give a damn about a woman that's like, look, he is violating me. He is abusing me. They don't give a damn about that. And now I'm just randomly attaching this bonus, this little piece. This has nothing to do with those other two stories. I am just posting this just because. And I want to remind us all to have a wonderful Tuesday. It's going to be a glorious day. Spring is here. Sun is shining. Join the conversation. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. And don't cause any mayhem today, y'all. No mayhem.